Hi Sagittarians, and welcome to your May reading. So let's start. I drew two oracle cards. One is going to be just before the reading and one after. So let's go and see what you have. Wow, you have new moon and promise, and what a beautiful romantic scene that really is, right? So when is the new moon? May 22nd. So I do believe that there's like something talking about, hey, close some affairs, straighten your affairs for something new that is just going to start around that time of the month, right? So we are just basically talking about, the time to launch a new project or possibly a new relationship. You're kind of like ready, or maybe you're ready to renew something, maybe something that has been put aside for a possible later day. So it's something that is kind of like you're putting intention into something. That intention is like to allow a full cycle to complete itself, and something that you really desire, something that you really want to manifest, right? I really think this is like something that is emerging from your subconscious, something that maybe was in the dark, something that just has been completely just a seed. But the next step is to put into the action what is required in order to kind of like go in that direction. As I said, it could be something that has been percolating for a while in the back of your head, but now it is really time to do that. Now, a promise has two meanings. It can be a commitment, and it can be a guarantee to yourself or someone else that a particular thing will happen. Or it can imply that something specific is expected to happen, right? So when your will is aligned with the will of the universe, and when your intention is focused toward what you really wanted to happen, then, the promise is kept. So you guys are like that powerful sign that has this like visionary ideas, has this like higher ground, has kind of like these things that are really coming like in of you, and more than any other sign, you're able to hold that placemat and to project it somewhere in your head in the future and say, this is what's going to be. And then you simply need to walk the steps and get there. So if you have lost this ability that you clearly have and natively have, or maybe never used, I suggest you quickly activate your abilities and you start kind of like creating this new life, a new promise that is just about to happen. So let me shuffle the cards and see what else we can see for this month, and what kind of messages are you getting. So Sagittarius, for the transition of Taurus for May, Sagittarius, Taurus transition, May. So what you have here is, again, dreamers. Seven of Sea. Sure enough, I think this is huge advantage of you guys, that you have this ability to project your wishes in the future. Just think about it. You have a little mini projector in your head, and you're projecting, like, you can think of any ideas, just like in this card, like Kitty is seeing all kind of like different kind of like shades in all these bubbles. So you're able to kind of like see certain things and project it, but you need to also believe that this is possible reality for you, that you can conceive this kind of things. Your intuitive powers are going to be very, very strong this period, but at the same time, like the negative of this that you can project is that sometimes you lose ability to trust that you're going to get it. You are more or less keeping that on an illusion level, and that can be also very frustrating for Sagittarians, and that could be kind of like a thing that actually costs you in relationships and in life. So just you need to remind yourself, almost like you have to go to that Peter Pan, into that childlike ability to kind of like reconnect to that ability that you always had. So the first card is Nine of Earth. I love this card. People say, well, this person wants to stay single, or so on and so forth. Maybe that certainly can be one of the meanings, but I don't think that's the main meaning. To me, the main meaning of this is that somebody is being very comfortable. You're comfortable financially, you're comfortable in your surroundings, and you're really comfortable with the relationships you had in your life. I believe that for any quality relationship, for anything lasting, we have to reach this stage before we move forward. Absolutely. Without this, knowing who you are, knowing what you can become, to assess yourself, to see the ability to be positive, the ability to kind of like integrate with your surroundings, with a possibly future partner, is extremely important. You know, you need to know one, right, to be able to know and estimate if something is really doable and workable. I mean, after all, the card that represents you in tarot is Temperance, and Temperance is one of those, it's almost like a magician, except it's nicer. It's saying, look, I'm just going to do it because it's a good thing to do it. I can make, you know, fire and water kind of like unite and kind of like live together without distinguishing each other and that sort of things. So this is kind of like really beautiful thing of that promise. So this is being crossed with Good Kitty. This is a karma card, the judgment card, right? So this card is really interesting because it doesn't necessarily say good or bad. Technically, this card, when it's upright, would say, yes, there is like a shift. There is like something going on. But also, in order for this shift to happen, there is like a release that needs to happen. So again, promise. It's maybe promising to yourself that maybe things are going to be different. Maybe something about you, something about the ways about you, or something how you're going to interact is going to be different. You're getting very determined in that particular direction. This card also means that some negative things can happen, and they usually come as a way of release. It's kind of like, hey, it's done, it's over with. Okay, I paid my ticket, now leave me alone, kind of a thing. So there's like not much to worry. It feels like there's like certain level of comfort that I'm seeing over here. So in the past, we have another karma card and its consequences. Look, and it was reversed. When this reverses, it's usually negative. It usually says, hey, now you're on the receiving end of something, right? And that receiving end doesn't just have to be necessarily what you did in this life, but what, you know, could have been going on for many past lifetimes. But this is giving us ability to cut these cords and remove that connectivity, right, to either a person or something. Sometimes we just go through life and we keep meeting the same person in a different body, or we keep encountering similar situations and we're like, oh my god, why did I sign for this? And I don't want to sign for this, right? Because look at this, we see this particular entanglement over here. Something was very important, and basically the result is not supposed to be worse than the initial situation. But it tells me that you felt that you have been on the receiving end of something that you clearly do not deserve and that you shouldn't be receiving. That could be some kind of like legal determination as well, or it could be just simply life that you're feeling, oh my gosh, why is this happening? Why, you know, I don't have this fairy tale, and so on and so forth. Then Eight of Sky is also a very interesting card. Check it out. The kitty is caught in these roots. And what's happening here? I don't know how much you know about Siamese cats. They're very headstrong. They really do what they want to do and how they want to do it. This kitty is currently like really frantic, as you can tell. Look at the little paw, right? Who has a cat there? It's like a little paw. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm frantically trying to come out. Look at that. It's prying out, but it's only going to get worse. And she's afraid of the bats are coming and what's going to happen. So this is really talking about being stuck in a situation. And it's kind of really difficult because we do not see the way out. And we are anticipating that, oh my gosh, even if I do get out, there's like something horrible out there. So it's a bad situation to be in. Sometimes it really tells me, and especially when these two cards kind of meet, that maybe there is a divorce happening of some sort, looming or anticipated, or something that you're afraid of, or something that you're contemplating, one reason, or somebody who you are with needs to divorce in order for you to be together. Clearly there is like some inability of somebody to really go into the next level, and this is maybe you felt kind of like stuck in that situation, whether it's the you who needs to leave the union or are waiting for somebody who needs to do that. This also could mean that maybe you are hoping to hear from someone and that phone call or text is not arriving. It's not necessarily because the person ignored you. Hi Sapphie, I was just talking about you, how Siamese boutique are so strong. It's not because they don't really want to talk to you. This is more or less they can't. There's like something karmically, clearly, twice stressed over here already, that they have to go through in order for certain things to happen. The above you card is the Emperor, but it was reversed. When the Emperor reverses, other than basically the obvious, you guys might be dealing with some water energy, fire or air energy over here that I see, but you can also be dealing directly with Libra or Aries or Scorpio as well. So this kind of like reversal of the Emperor can say to me that you feel that somebody has control over you, that somebody is kind of like pulling you by the nose, or maybe even rubbing your nose all over the poo-poo kind of a thing. You are really not happy about the situation, but you still overall feel that your situation is rather comfortable, and for some reason there is a tolerance of that. Maybe you're tolerating situation because you are used to situation not being super tolerable, because this card can have that impact on us when we just like start convincing ourselves that, hey, there is a glass ceiling or glass wall, whatever, glass cube, whatever you really want to talk about it, and then you're trying to really get out of it, so you don't know how to do that. Immediately over here ahead of you is the Hermit reversed. Whoa, Hermit is, I actually love this card. This is like the card that we really need to be alone, where we kind of want to disconnect, not only from the people but also from the technology, because we do not want the influence either of other people. Look at that little pause everywhere. We do not want other people to influence, whether this is Googling, whether this is like hearing something, but we really want to look into our own world, into our own decisions, and kind of like take proper steps from that point on, right? So when this is reversing, it says that we just can't come up with that conclusion, or we are running from a person to a person. And also this can represent that you have few people around you. Maybe the person who is more convincing is appealing, but that person who is more convincing can also be using and exerting control over you. So just keep that in mind, right? Because there is like somebody here who is almost like a blunt to the point, and while it could be harsh to hear it, because it almost looks like there is it's almost like how it's presented to you, that you feel it's pointed against you, but the truth is that the truth has to come out, and that you maybe see the truth one way but other people see the other way. But this is kind of like inability to absorb that wisdom. So here you have Seven of Swords. It is reversed. So actually this is a good news, because Seven of Swords upright is basically talking about betrayal and feeling that somebody is like grabbing something from you, or like you just have to look the other way and you felt maybe things will go away. Maybe you just like felt the remedy of the problem is like so easily you can just put a band-aid, it's going to go away. But this card always talks about, you know, something being taken away from us, or worse yet, that we really have to run away in a hurry from the situation. Keep in mind this card comes before this one, so this is the situation that kind of like we get into next. But this is reversed. So when this reverses, it's kind of like ta-da, aha moment. And with that aha moment, there is a realization of something. So no wonder this is connecting with these two cards. Very powerful. It's going to be something that is going to be crystal clear to you, and no wonder you have a new moon here, because that clarity is really needed in order for this new cycle to start. But you still have about 3 weeks before you get to that level, so you need to clean as much as you can, literally and metaphorically, whether this means cleansing your fridge and closets and putting it in order and knowing where your stuff is and just getting rid of the stuff that you don't need, and also kind of like thinking about these big dreams and this kind of like big projects that you wanted to have, that you dreamt about, but you just kind of like shuffle them aside as immature and whatnot, and you have been convinced by these people, hey, you know what, you have to be more of a realist, you have to more stand on your 2 feet, you need to go, no, don't listen to them, you need to go back and dream those big dreams. In your environment you have the Priest. To me this is a marriage card. So ta-da! Are you divorcing somebody? Or are you marrying somebody? Are you dealing with somebody who is married? The priest can also talk about big rules, not small rules, like big rules, sort of like societal morals and ethics, like what maybe is not necessarily working for you, but society says this is the way it is. I don't know, let's talk about, like in the 40s and 30s, you had to be married kind of a thing. And maybe this is not your thing, but you had to be. Like maybe you're dealing with somebody who is insisting on a marriage, but it's upright. So it's actually a good thing. So somebody is doing that in a really best interest. So somebody is trying to say these are the things that are really working for me, and this is also some kind of like stabilizing thing. The Hierophant, the Priest card, is also Taurus card, which means that something really will be happening during this time period to stabilize you. So if you're married, it's going to stabilize your relationship, because your partner, or whether a married partner or common law partner or relationship partner, is going to seek that stability. Some of you might also, how I said, like somebody's maybe waiting for divorce, and maybe somebody's finally getting it and able to move forward, or somebody's kind of like getting this clarification, oh my gosh, I'm stuck in a bad situation and I really need to get through. There is like this level of clarity for you. If nothing else, you might also get a clarity of, I have to wash my hands from this whole entire situation, I need to leave, kind of a thing. And these are hopes and fears. And there is like a 9 of sky. So we had the 9 of earth over here, and now it's 9 of sky. And this is like that nightmarish 9, where like anticipating bad things. So this is a comfort 9, like, what it was, like Spice Girls, one of the Sugar Spice. So this is like same as 9. So this is a comfort 9. This is like a terrifying 9. So this is like that nightmare. So you are hoping that things are going to work smoothly, clearly, but you are also anticipating there are going to be some nightmarish situations on your path, right? It's really interesting. We have 7, and then we have 8, and then we have a 9. Clearly, you are moving toward cleansing the things, just as I've told you in the beginning. And this is ending with 4 of fire. And again, ta-da, it's a really good coupling with this Emperor, even though the Emperor is reversed. And the reason for that is because the 4 of fire is always talking about going to the next level. And this 4 of fire is promise. And what is the next level? You are anticipating something, you're hoping for something happens along that path. Let's say you are dating someone, and now you're deciding to be exclusive, you decide to move in, and so on and so forth, right? Or I don't really see the kids, but like that also can be a part of the thing, kind of like promise, hey, we are going to do that. And let's see which other card will you got. Miracle. Miracle is a really good card. Can't you see similarities in these two cards? It's kind of like the burst of that really, really good energy. So the story behind this Miracle card is about a town that basically everybody is basically lying or self-centered, narcissistic, right? So they just do whatever they want. Like, truth means nothing to them, right? So that one day the little girl kind of like went to the grocery store, and she basically got a little bit extra change returned back to her. So normal reaction from this town dwellers would be, oh, just pocket it, cool, kind of a thing. But not this girl. This girl said, hey, lady, you gave me too much money. And puff, all of a sudden you see this genie coming right out of the stamp, right? And everybody just like stared around, and they were not they didn't realize that doing the right thing is beneficial, because the whole premise of all this kind of being self-centered, that you have to deceive and cheat and stuff in order to get ahead. So maybe this is what your assessment is, that other people are not getting where they're getting through, let's say, normal ways, that they have cut corners, they have deceived, they have cheated, and maybe this is basically what happened to you, and maybe you got a little bit jaded about that. But this is again going back to my point that you need to dream the big dreams, and it's very important. This is also about the inspiration. There's like something new. It sounds to me that you have been going through some kind of like painful experiences, and you want to protect yourself from any additional pain, and this is why you cannot deeply process things. Yes, their intuition is there. Remember, kind of like we did say the 7, and we did see the High Priestess right beneath this, right? So she's holding here this kind of like guard and saying, you know, you need to think about your intuitive things, and you really will feel it, what is right, what is wrong. So I really think that, you know, you will be that lighting the way for others. And this is like, you know, like having that lantern, and the Hermit is also showing up with this lantern. Like, you still need to experience one more darkness before you see this full light. And boy, this full light is coming. Look at that. This is that kind of like Merkaba universal light that comes through and shines everything. And I have a whole bunch of this in the windows, and sometimes on my live you see it shining it everywhere. So my dear Sagittarians, this is actually lovely. And I would love to hear from you. If you guys are not part of my social media, please either subscribe here or join my Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, so you can get your daily dose of tarot. And of course, to get a reading with me, contact me via cattarot.ca or just write to me to my email. It's all down in the description. So until the next month, I love you and I wish you all the best. Oh yeah, lastly, don't forget to check my astrology for this month. It's going to appear here just in a few seconds. Love you.